What's up YouTube, it's Frankie here, and this video is Spirit Guides Explained. Now, I get a lot of people who tell me, hey, I've tried to connect with spirits and I've heard about spirit guides and angels and things like these, and I try it, but I meditate and I do these things and dick fuck all happens for me. If you're one of those people, it's really, really interesting because I'm going to show you in this video, it's not only way easier than you think, but a part of it is just reframing and re-understanding what an actual spirit is and how one connects with them and how one uses them in your everyday life. So if you've tried and nothing's working, then this video is going to be totally awesome and for you. So without further ado, let's do it. So how do you connect with spirits? What the hell are spirits anyway? And how do you know when you connect with them that it's not just your own thoughts getting in the way? And all those kind of things that are really, really important in this journey. Now, what's really, really funny is after having had like probably about 500 plus mystical experiences and guiding people on all these things and having spirits go from my first 27 years of life to having like no experience of spirits or any concept of that in terms of real experience other than, just see some movies where the poltergeist fucking throws the vase across the room. You're like, that looks like a spirit. To then suddenly having this like literally like a light switch was on and then realizing that spirits are everywhere, it's all part of life. I'll tell you a few about the things I've learned that have not only helped me but helped other people. Is the question itself is really, really funny because one of the things you experience in these peak mystical states is that ultimately that reality itself is kind of like a non-reality. It's like not much more than a dream. A dream feels absolutely real in every way, but the moment you wake up from your dream, there's this awakening to something else, and you go, oh yeah, I forgot that this other level of reality existed, but now that I'm awake again, here I am. And so one of the things you discover in these experiences that it's all one, and what we would call spirit or creation is literally fucking everywhere. There's nothing that it's not. And so it's kind of like a fish swimming through the ocean and saying, hey, where's the water? I keep hearing about this water. Everybody's talking about this water. Where's the water, right? Like, so when people ask me, where's the spirit? What they don't realize is that there is an infinite intelligence that is literally moving the particles and the energy. So you see a wall behind me, for example. You would not normally think that is the spirit of a wall, but it in fact is. If you actually looked at that with a microscope, what you would find is at a high rate of energy that there's these actually fast moving particles that move in and out of existence at the speed of light, and that there's actually like this whole energetic force field that moves really, really, really fast that creates the stillness we know as wall. And so when people look at a wall, they don't normally think, hey, that's a spirit right there, but it actually most definitely is. And so part of it is understanding that you're seeing spirits all the time. So I think that's really, really important, because if you have that burden and you're like, I keep trying and nothing's really working for me, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but it's not working for me. Other people say like, hey, I did a meditation. They're like, I saw this angel before me and it transformed my life. But for me, I just sat there listening to myself talk to myself and nothing happened. Part of it is just understanding that you're looking in a way that your expectation is blocking it, because you're looking for something like often like a ghost or your preconception of an angel or what something is supposed to be. Now, another area of expectation where people really get in the way, and this is really, really interesting as well, is how spirits communicate. Now, I experienced this. I was first in the jungle. I drank ayahuasca and I was having an experience with the head medicine spirit of ayahuasca. And spirits themselves come from this infinite state of all-encompassing oneness and creation. And so what happens is when they come to you, they will use your own personality to communicate with you. And this can be really, really interesting because you can't always so easily distinguish the voice of a spirit between your own thoughts if you're not trained to notice the difference. And more often than not, in my experience, it's very, very rare that a spirit will just reveal itself to you in terms of like, I can see it, it's talking to me. That does happen, by the way, but it's probably, I would say, 1% of the time. More often than not, they just raise your vibration and you suddenly find yourself tuning into thoughts and higher vibrations that just make a little more sense and give you clarity on your life and are received in this deeper state of consciousness. So When you're in that state, how do you know you're actually talking to spirits? Well, it's really, really simple, is that your mind will be more rested, and so it'll be less of that mental busy chatter, and what you'll find is the thoughts are almost received, and they come to you with a whole bunch more clarity. And the reason I told you about the ayahuasca experience, I remember I had purged a whole bunch of anxiety, and it literally manifested inside of me as a planet. And I remember sprinting to the bathroom thinking, oh my God, I'm going to shit myself, please, like nobody be in the bathroom, which if you've never done ayahuasca probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but it does if you have. And as I was getting to the bathroom, I remember thinking, oh, thank God there's nobody there. And I got to sit down and take a shit, and then I couldn't go. And I remember asking this head medicine spirit, like, what do you want me to do? Like, my asshole's this big, and the shit that you just created inside of me, which was like literally an energetic mass of all my anxiety coming out my body physically. And it said, hey, you just asked to be rid of it. The Drano is your fucking problem. And I remember laughing because I couldn't believe like a spirit would talk to you like that, but they actually like will literally use your own personality to communicate with you. So oftentimes like their humor and their things like that are really, really high level and interesting. It would only be funny to you because they know you and your personality and what you go through. So another question a lot of people ask me is, how do I actually talk to those spirits and have like a two-way dialogue, not just a one-way of like, hey, okay, now I realize you're here. Does everybody have spirit guides? Yes, they do. But to be able to actually like have that connection and the real experience of it. And I think where a lot of people get tripped up is actually even using the word talk and replace it with the word communicate. Now, spirits come from like a highly state of imagination, which is pure creation. A lot of people think imagination is just pure fantasy and things like that, not realizing that reality itself in many ways is equally pure fantasy and pure imagination. And so a big part of it is receiving spirits with your imagination and being able to like receive them. And what you'll find is that the better and better you get at connecting with them, the more and more you'll understand that energy, and the easier and easier it'll be to have a two-way dialogue. So it's not all that different. Like if your mom sent you an email message or called you on the phone or sent you a text message, there would be a certain energy signature that you would just know it's your mother or any other important relative or whatever, or friend. Spirits are the same way. Is the more you familiarize yourself with their energy, the more and more you'll just know it's them. And often they will accompany themselves with synchronicities. For example, and this leads into the next question, is what kind of spirit guides do we have? There's really an infinite number. There's no limitation on that, but some of the more common ones that I would encourage you to connect with are principal guides. So for example, my birthday is December 27th, and so often I will see when my principal guide is trying to get my attention, I'll just see randomly the number 1227, which is like I'll drive by a gas station and the price of the gas will be 122.7, and I'll see 1227, and I will feel their energy suddenly. That's one of the ones. For example, somebody was asking me like, how do you connect with the 4 archangels, which is another one people will use in protections and different shamanic medicine. I remember we had abbreviated as a 4As, and I was driving down a highway and I was trying to figure out how do I connect with that, and I could feel their energy, and I felt my attention drawn to this billboard, and it was a gambling billboard, and it was a guy holding 4 aces, and it just said the 4 A's, and so I was like, oh yeah, of course. So a big part of what you're doing is just really connecting to that energy and then familiarizing with yourself. Now, the last question is like, what kind of spirits exist? And that is all types. And a lot of times people think like ghosts and dead people are the only spirits. Those are actually the least useful in my experience. The ones you want to connect with are like guides, as well as plant spirits and different animal spirits that can help you, and that are unique and personal to you, that you can get on different shamanic journeys. And if you're interested in getting one of those, by the way, you can download our free life purpose training, and we'll get into how you can find and connect with your own spirit guide. So I hope this was useful to you guys. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. So much love to you, YouTube.